You have been lied to. The world will tell you that failure comes from bad luck, bad breaks, or being born in the wrong place. That is a lie told to keep you quiet. The truth is harder. You fail because your mind is not fixed on your own path. You scatter your attention on the lives of others, on envy, gossip, small talk, and distraction, while your own work lies half done. And every day you do it, you steal from your own future and give your best hours to nothing. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to call you out and give you the remedy. Give me this 1 hour, and I will show you the law that will end this theft forever, a law that will make you unshakable, unmovable, and dangerous to any obstacle in your way. Ignore it, and you will join the millions who waste their power watching others use theirs. If I asked you to list every time in the past week you let your mind wander to what someone else was doing, how they're living, what they've achieved, what they own, you would not want to say the number aloud, because you know it is high. You know it is eating your focus, your time, your life. Here is the truth. No one says to your face, you cannot rise while watching another man climb. You cannot build while your eyes are on another man's wall. The reason you are not where you want to be is not because the chance has not come. It is because when it came, your mind was elsewhere. In this speech, I will give you the weapon to stop it. It will not make you comfortable. It will make you powerful. If you have the courage to keep listening, you will walk away with the one habit that forces life to give you what you demand. Before we begin, we make a bargain. You give me your whole attention, and I will give you a method to secure freedom by keeping your gaze upon your own work until it yields. If I fail, you may cast my words aside. If I keep faith, you must act this very day, for delay is the ally of drift and the enemy of advancement. Men waste years by scattering their attention upon the lives of others, envy at their gains, gossip over their faults, idle praise that breeds no action, idle blame that mends no wrong. All the while, their own garden grows weeds. Controlled attention is law, and the law rewards only those who obey by fixing it where it bears fruit. I command stillness. Close the door. Drive out every interruption. Put a clean sheet before you and a pencil in your hand. Let no errand, no voice, no wandering thought break this hour. Attention is coin. Divided attention purchases nothing. If you spend it on two things at once, you will own neither when the hour ends. There are pillars that support the mastery of self-focus. They are definite chief aim, controlled attention, accurate thinking, decision and persistence, auto-suggestion, organized planning, going the extra mile, and tolerance. Without these, the mind runs like an untamed horse. With them, it becomes the trained steed that carries you to your goal. Our theme is not the defeat of a rival, but the mastery of oneself. Not watching the race, but training your own stride until the tape breaks in your hand. The man who keeps his eyes on another's lane will stumble in his own. The man who runs to his own pace will finish where he planned, no matter who passes or lags beside him. For 30 days, you will order yourself as follows. Read your definite chief aim each morning. Give 1 guarded hour to study. Keep a ledger of where your attention is spent. Render extra service beyond what is paid for. Meet with 2 to 5 allies in perfect harmony, and close each night with an honest account of your progress. The history of success is the history of such focus. Edison, holding to 1 lamp until it burned as he willed. Ford, holding to 1 model until it served the common man. Woolworth, holding to 1 simple plan until his counters circled the land. Carnegie, holding to 1 purpose, strengthened by able men. Rockefeller, holding to saving and orderly method until fortune was his servant. Speak now this seed of affirmation. I fasten my attention upon my own work. I shut my mind against idle talk. I advance daily upon my chosen aim. Let these words be the chain that holds your focus to its post. Every repetition drives the stake deeper until your attention stands fast against wind and noise. Controlled attention is the habit of holding the mind upon one subject until it serves. It is the deliberate act of fastening thought upon a chosen object, to the exclusion of all that does not aid its attainment. It is the opposite of drifting, which lets the mind wander from task to task without direction, spending energy in many places and gaining nothing in any. The drifting mind is like a candle in the wind. Its light flickers, its flame shrinks, and at last it is snuffed out by the first strong gust. The controlled mind is like a lamp behind glass, its flame steady, its light constant, its heat directed. The man who cultivates this habit bends circumstance to his will, while the man who neglects it is bent to the will of circumstance. Controlled attention begins with definiteness. The mind cannot hold what is not clear. You cannot keep a fog in your grasp. You can only hold a solid object. Your written chief aim is that object. It is the lens through which the rays of your thought are brought to a single point. Without it, attention scatters. With it, attention focuses into power. Many men believe they have controlled attention because they can work hard for a short burst. But controlled attention is not a sprint. It is the steady march of thought in one direction over many days and years. It is not the rush of sudden enthusiasm, but the quiet persistence that ignores distraction and turns aside every idle suggestion that does not serve the aim. There are two roads before every man, the spectator's road and the builder's road. On the spectator's road, you look often at the work of others. You measure your progress against theirs. You watch their gains, their mistakes, their applause, their scorn. You spend more time observing than advancing. The builder's road is different. You measure your hours by the steps you have taken toward your own aim, and the only applause you seek is from the man in the mirror. The mind is like a field. Whatever seed you plant and tend will grow. Attention is the act of tending. If you give it to envy, complaint, or idle pleasure, those weeds will fill the ground and choke the good plants. If you give it to your chief aim and water it daily with thought and action, the harvest will be certain. One of the most certain tools for fixing attention is autosuggestion. Each morning and each night, you speak your chief aim aloud with feeling. Feeling is the water that nourishes the seed. Repetition is the sun that warms it. Without feeling, the words are as seed on stone. Without repetition, the soil is cold and the seed lies dormant. Autosuggestion is not mere wishing. It is the deliberate, emotional command to your subconscious mind to hold the picture of your aim until it becomes part of your nature. When the picture is fixed there, it begins to influence your choices, your actions, and even the opportunities that present themselves to you. What you hold in mind with faith, you will hold in hand with action. Consider the example of Edwin C. Barnes. His aim was to become a business partner of Thomas A. Edison. He did not wander from this aim. He did not divide his thought between this and other ventures. He held to it as a mariner holds to the compass. When he began, he had no money and no position, but his controlled attention fixed the mind of Edison upon him, and in time, the aim was fulfilled. Think also of Dr. Frank W. Gonzalez. For years, he held in mind the plan to build a college for young men without means. He spoke of it, thought of it, worked toward it, until the image was so fixed in his mind that it seemed inevitable. When the time came, Philip D. Armour answered the call with the funds, not because of a chance meeting, but because of years of prepared attention. George Eastman, creator of the great photographic enterprise, fastened his mind upon the idea of making photography simple for the public. He did not shift to other industries or chase passing fads. His attention was fixed until the tools, the knowledge, and the men were gathered to make it real. This is the law in action, the steady gaze upon one aim until it yields. The exercises for mastering controlled attention are simple but exacting. First, close your ears to useless opinion. Much of what passes for conversation is nothing more than mental rubbish that clutters the mind. Every time you listen to gossip or unproven talk, you rent your attention to another man's error. Second, mark each hour's object before you begin the hour. If the hour is for study, study. If it is for work, work. If it is for rest, rest. The habit of knowing what you will do before you do it is the habit of a commander, not a servant. A man who begins an hour without a purpose begins a journey without a destination. Third, refuse every task that does not move the aim forward. Opportunity often comes disguised as activity, but not all activity is opportunity. A busy life is not always a productive life. Measure each request for your time against your chief aim, and if it does not serve, let it pass. Fourth, welcome every task that does move the aim forward, no matter how small or unglamorous it may seem. Many men fail because they wait for the grand occasion and ignore the small step. Controlled attention treats each small step as a brick in the wall, each necessary to complete the structure. Controlled attention also requires that you govern not only your thoughts but your senses. What you look at, what you listen to, what you read, all are seeds. If they do not serve the aim, they will crowd it out. A man cannot fill his eyes and ears with trifles all day and then expect his mind to deliver gold at night. You will know your attention is under control when you can bring your mind back to your aim at will, as a trained falcon returns to the glove. At first, it will stray often. The untrained mind is restless. But each time you notice it has wandered, call it back without delay. Each return strengthens the leash until the habit is fixed. The value of controlled attention is not only in the results it brings, but in the man it makes. A man who can hold his mind where he wills can hold his tongue when he must, can hold his course when storms come, can hold his peace when provoked, can hold his courage when others falter. These are the qualities that mark the leader. Speak these affirmations until they are your own. I attend to that which advances my aim. I govern my eyes, ears, hands, and hours. I return my thought to my purpose as often as it strays. I refuse all that does not serve my chief aim. These lines are not charms. They are commands to yourself, and the self will obey the voice it hears most often. When you master controlled attention, you will find that time seems to increase. This is because you are no longer wasting hours on paths that lead nowhere. Each step is chosen, each act measured, each result deliberate. The days of scattered effort and vague hope will be behind you, replaced by ordered labor and certain reward. Controlled attention is the guard at the gate of your mind. Without it, any passing thought can enter and set up camp. With it, only those thoughts that serve your aim may pass. This guard must be always on duty, for the enemy does not rest. Distraction is always at the gate, clothed in the garments of interest, urgency, or pleasure. To live without controlled attention is to live as a reed in the wind, bending to every gust. To live with it is to live as a tree, rooted deep, unmoved by passing storms, growing always toward the light you have chosen. This is not theory. It is the experience of every man who has risen from obscurity to power by the steady gaze upon his own path. When you have trained your attention, you will look back and wonder how you once lived without it. You will see the wasted years, the empty hours, the chances missed because your eyes were elsewhere. And you will guard your attention as you guard your purse, knowing that its theft is the theft of your future. Remember always, you cannot serve two masters, and you cannot hold two aims. Fix your attention upon the one that is worthy of your best, and give it without reserve. This is the law of controlled attention, and it will not fail you if you do not fail it. Controlled attention is power, but without guarding the gates of your mind, that power will be stolen. Guarding the gates means deciding what enters your mind and what is turned away. It means keeping watch over your thoughts with the same vigilance a banker keeps over his vault. You cannot allow the unworthy to enter and still expect the worthy to remain. The first guard at the gate is accurate thinking. This is the habit of separating fact from mere opinion, truth from rumor, useful counsel from idle talk. The average man admits all thoughts freely, then wonders why his mind is crowded with confusion. The wise man examines each idea before giving it lodging. He tests it, asks for proof, and accepts it only if it passes the standard of truth. Accurate thinking requires that you accept counsel only from men whose results prove their wisdom. The world is full of advisors whose lives give no evidence of success. To take their direction is to follow a blind guide into a pit. If you would build a bridge, you would seek an engineer, not a dreamer. If you would build a fortune, you must seek counsel from one who has built his own. You must also recognize the 6 basic fears, for they are thieves of focus. They slip through unguarded gates and distract the mind from its aim. They are the fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death. Of these, the fear of poverty and the fear of criticism are the most dangerous to your daily attention. The fear of poverty makes the hand tremble when it should sign a bold order. It causes the mind to fix on what may be lost instead of what may be gained. It weakens resolve and keeps a man from taking the very step that would end his want. If you allow this fear inside your gates, it will whisper hesitation at every decision. The fear of criticism keeps men small. It persuades them to hide their aims, to water down their plans, to avoid any action that may draw comment. This fear diverts attention from the aim to the opinions of others. A man ruled by it looks sideways at every step, fearing who may be watching. You cannot keep your gaze fixed on your goal while glancing over your shoulder. Comparison is the tool by which these fears grow. When you measure yourself against another man's pace or possessions, you invite doubt and resentment. Both are weeds that grow quickly and choke the plant of purpose. Your only measure should be against your own aim and the plan that serves it. To guard your attention, you must also guard your environment. Your surroundings influence your thoughts more than you may admit. Companions of courage will stir your own courage. Companions of complaint will sap it. Rooms of order encourage order in the mind. Rooms of clutter invite confusion. Hours of quiet allow reflection. Constant noise drowns the voice of reason. I command you to remove one weakening influence from your environment each week. It may be a habit that steals your time, a voice that feeds your doubts, or a place where nothing useful is gained. In its place, add something that strengthens you, a book of sound principles, a man of strong will, or a setting that encourages thought. Tolerance is another guard at the gate. An open mind to truth allows useful ideas to enter. A closed mind to gossip keeps harm outside. The intolerant man who refuses to hear because the voice differs from his own may shut out the very idea that would have secured his aim. The over-tolerant man who hears all and accepts all will fill his mind with weeds. You must hold the balance, open to truth, closed to falsehood. The golden rule is the law that protects your name. When you deal fairly, when you render to every man the service you would have rendered to yourself, you need not spend your attention defending your reputation. A clean name is a shield that frees your mind for its work. Those who must constantly explain or excuse themselves have little focus left for building. Consider Abraham Lincoln. Throughout his career, he endured storms of criticism. He was called weak, reckless, slow, or hasty, often in the same week. Yet he did not abandon his fixed purpose. He weighed the facts, kept his counsel, and acted when ready. His attention was upon preserving the Union, not upon silencing every voice against him. Think also of John Wanamaker, who built a mercantile empire while keeping the confidence of the public. His dealings were clean, his service fair, his promises kept. He did not spend his days fighting suspicion, for none was justified. His mind was free to attend to growth, order, and improvement. To train your own guards, keep a 7-day attention ledger. For 1 week, record where your mind has been each hour. Mark the hours spent on your aim, and mark the hours lost to distraction. At the end, you will see clearly which gates stand open to thieves. Close them. Write down 3 names whose voices must be limited, those who weaken your resolve or feed unworthy thoughts. Limit your time and words with them. Then write 3 names whose counsel strengthens you, whose lives bear proof of their wisdom. Increase your time with them and seek their advice when needed. Speak this affirmation daily. I close my mind to idle talk. I weigh facts. I choose companions who strengthen my attention. I guard my gates against fear and falsehood. I admit only what serves my aim. Speak it until the words are not merely spoken but acted upon. Your mind is your fortress. Controlled attention is its treasure. Accurate thinking is the lock on the gate. A chosen environment is the wall. Tolerance and the golden rule are the laws that keep the peace within. Keep these guards at their posts, and your attention will remain free to serve your purpose without interruption. No man can keep every distraction away, but every man can decide which distractions are allowed to stay. The difference between the successful and the drifting is not that one faces fewer intrusions. It is that one admits fewer through the gates. Every thought admitted becomes a resident. Choose your residence with care. You will find that as your gates grow stronger, the quality of what enters will improve. Those who once brought you gossip will stop when they see it is unwelcome. Those who once doubted you will remain silent when they see your steady advance. In time, your very presence will discourage idle talk and invite purposeful conversation. Guarding the gates is not a single act, but a daily habit. It must be renewed each morning and kept until night. It must be tested often, for even a small opening can let in a thief. But once you have made it part of your nature, it will protect your attention as surely as the walls of a fortress protect its treasure. Each morning begins with the same act. Before you speak to another, before you take up the tools of the day, take your written chief aim in hand. Stand, read it aloud slowly, and give each word the weight of truth. Speak as though you are announcing what is already yours. See it in your mind, hear the sounds of its completion, feel the pride of having attained it. When you finish reading, declare, "This is my aim. I give my mind and my day to it. I refuse all that does not lead me nearer." These words are the key that locks your attention to the right course before the first distraction arrives. They turn the mind from drift to direction, from the crowd's noise to your own clear path. Place your written chief aim where your eyes will meet it many times a day. It should be on your desk where you work, beside your bed where you rise and lie down, in your pocket so you carry it as you carry your purse. Every time your eyes find it, stop for a moment and speak one line. I attend to this and nothing else until it is done. This act is more than reminder. It is reinforcement. The mind does not remain fixed by a single morning's reading. It must be called back to its duty many times. Each glance at your aim, each repetition of the line, strengthens the cord that binds your attention to your chosen work. At midday, pause your labor and return your mind to your aim. Speak aloud. I return to my purpose. I take the next step now. Then perform the next act, no matter how small, that moves you forward. If it is a letter to be written, write it. If it is a call to be made, make it. If it is a sum to be set aside, set it aside. In this way, no day passes without progress. When the day is done, take your chief aim again into your hand. Read it aloud with the same conviction as in the morning. Then speak these lines. I kept faith with my aim today. I advanced it by this act. Name it aloud. Tomorrow I shall advance it by this act. Name the act you will perform. This closes the day with purpose and opens the next with decision. Do not treat this drill as a task to be finished quickly. Stand while you speak, breathe deeply, give the words time to sink into the mind. The tone of your voice and the steadiness of your posture are part of the command you give to yourself. A man who rushes through his aim as if it were a burden is telling his mind it is unworthy of time. Make this drill your daily law for 30 days without fail. Do it whether you feel eager or weary, whether the day before brought triumph or defeat. The habit is not built by the easy days, but by the hard ones. The man who can keep his focus in the face of discouragement has mastered himself. The man who loses it has mastered nothing. On the seventh day of each week, stand and speak this covenant aloud. I am the master of my attention. My attention makes me master of my fate. Say it as you would speak a vow that must be kept under all conditions. Repetition fixes belief. Belief fixes action. Action fixes results. This is the chain by which the aim becomes reality. You will find that in time, these lines begin to come to you unbidden during the day. This is proof that your mind has begun to accept them as law. When this happens, the work of keeping your focus becomes easier. The mind will return to the aim of its own accord as a trained hound returns to the scent. Yet even the trained mind will wander. If an idle, doubtful, or discouraging thought intrudes at any time, speak sharply to yourself. Stop. I choose my thought. Then replace it at once with your chief aim statement. This is not a game. It is the training of your own command over your mind. Each time you do this, the habit of control grows stronger. Understand that your chief aim is the compass. These spoken lines are the hand upon the compass. The compass alone cannot guide you unless the hand keeps it steady toward the right bearing. The hand alone without the compass cannot find the way. Together, they keep your course true, no matter how many storms or currents you meet. Do not expect the world to honor your focus. Many will try to turn your eyes to their concerns. Some will do it without ill will, others to test your resolve. Your answer is simple. You have already chosen your work for the day, and you will not change it. The drill is your shield. It gives you the words and the will to keep your eyes where they belong. Do not neglect to name aloud the act by which you advanced your aim today, nor the act by which you will advance it tomorrow. The mind respects what is spoken and recorded. If you cannot name a single act that moved you forward, you must admit you drifted, and resolve that tomorrow will not find you so. In 30 days, you will see a change in yourself. The aim will no longer seem distant. It will seem as though you are walking toward it with measured steps. The noise of the crowd will fade. The call of your work will grow louder. Distractions will seem less tempting, for the habit of returning to the aim will have taken root. But do not stop at 30 days. This drill is not merely a tool for beginning. It is a tool for life. As long as you have aims, you will need the habit of daily focus. Change the aim when it is achieved. Keep the drill that helped you reach it. Each new purpose will find in you a mind already trained to serve it. Speak these affirmations often. I keep my eyes upon my aim. I advance it daily. I choose my thoughts and refuse all that does not serve my purpose. My attention is my servant, and it obeys me. Let these words be the law by which you govern your days, until they become the nature by which you live. Remember, no man wins by chance. Victory is the product of steady attention upon a worthy aim, kept alive by daily command and daily action. This drill is the method by which you give that command and perform that action. Use it faithfully, and it will give you more than the aim you now hold. It will give you mastery over the one tool that governs all others, your mind. Controlled attention without ordered action is like water held in a cup that never reaches the soil. It remains unused, growing stale. If your aim is the compass and your focus the hand upon it, then your ordered day is the ship that moves. It must be built with a plan, manned with daily duties, and steered toward the harbor you have chosen. Organized planning is the art of breaking your aim into daily acts that can be done with certainty. Without dates, plans are wishes. Without a schedule, the best intentions drift into the night with nothing done. Each morning, before you begin, set your day in order. Know what will be done first, second, third, and last, and why each act is worthy of your hours. Begin your day with the act that serves your aim most directly. Do not allow lesser matters to crowd it from the morning, for the morning is the mind's strongest hour. If you give that hour to trifles, you weaken the day before it has begun. The second act should multiply your usefulness, learning, preparing, or improving your method. The third should reduce waste. The fourth should strengthen an alliance. By this method, every day builds your aim on 4 sides: direct advance, increased value, reduced loss, and stronger allies. These are the 4 walls of the structure you are building. Leave any wall unattended and the building is weaker for it. Attend to all 4 each day, and your structure will rise with symmetry and strength. Tie to this plan the habit of going the extra mile. This means rendering more service than you are paid to render, and doing it with a willing spirit. The extra mile is not charity. It is investment. It is the surplus in quality and quantity of service that makes you worth more than you cost, and thus draws more opportunity to you. Keep a ledger of extra service. At the close of each day, write down what you did beyond what was expected. Do not leave it to memory. Memory fades. The written record will not only remind you of your growth, but will give you proof should you ever need to show why you are worthy of greater trust, pay, or partnership. Attention follows record. What you measure grows. The man who measures his extra service will look for ways to increase it. The man who measures nothing will soon find he is doing nothing beyond the bare minimum. This is why the ledger is as important as the service itself. It turns a single day's effort into a habit of effort. The ledger should have 3 columns. The first is for the act by which you advanced your aim today. The second is for the extra service you rendered. The third is for the seed you saved. At the end of each week, read the ledger aloud so you can hear the proof of your progress. This will strengthen your faith in yourself and in the law of cause and effect. Tie to this the habit of saving. Compare not your savings to another man's display. Many men own fine things, but nothing of value. Compare only to your own rising treasury of tools, books, and clean ventures. Let each coin saved be given a duty, whether to buy knowledge, better equipment, or opportunity when it knocks. Consider John D. Rockefeller, who kept strict accounts from his first wages. His order and his savings grew together, each strengthening the other. Or Charles M. Schwab, who rose from day labor by cheerful service and readiness to do more than was asked. Or Andrew Carnegie, who turned the order of his plans into an empire by surrounding himself with able men. By keeping an ordered day, you keep your mind free from the burden of constant choice. When you know in advance what must be done and when, you do not waste attention deciding in the moment. The plan has decided for you. This leaves more of your power for doing and less for debating. In ordering your day, guard also against overfilling it. A day too crowded with tasks will scatter your attention and weaken each act. Better to do 4 things with purpose and precision than 10 with haste and carelessness. Quality of attention is as important as quantity of work. Speak this affirmation each night as you review your ledger. My hours obey my aim. My service exceeds my pay. My savings become tools. I am the steward of my day. These words remind you that each day is both a trust and a resource to be spent wisely, never squandered. If you order your day, give extra service, keep a ledger, and save with purpose, your progress will be certain. The pace may be slow at first, but it will quicken. As your value increases, opportunity will come more often. You will be ready to seize it, for your attention, your service, and your means will all be in order. An ordered day is the foundation of an ordered life. Without it, you build on shifting sand. With it, you lay each stone upon solid ground, and the structure will bear any weight the future may place upon it. The man who orders his days commands his life. The man who lets his days scatter is commanded by chance. Comparison is the coward's mirror. It shows you another man's road and invites you to measure your step by his. But the man who builds does not borrow another man's pace. He moves by the measure of his own written aim. To glance at another's progress is to turn your head from your own path, and a man who runs while looking sideways soon stumbles. The first weapon against comparison is decision. Decide once and for all to refuse envy. Envy is wasted attention. It fixes your thought upon what belongs to another and steals the thought you could have given to your own work. A man who has decided to shut the door on envy will find more room for ideas, plans, and action that serve his aim. Decision must be renewed often, for the world will tempt you to break it. News of another's gain, gossip of another's success, the sight of another's possessions, these are the baits that draw the mind away. You must answer each with the same firm resolve. That is his road. My eyes are fixed on mine. The second weapon is persistence, long obedience in one direction. Many men begin with decision but do not endure. They are steady until they see another man's apparent shortcut. Then they change course, seeking a quicker way. In doing so, they abandon the momentum they had built. Persistence keeps you moving until the road you chose brings you to its end. Persistence quiets the itch to watch other men. When your hours are full with advancing your own aim, you have neither time nor hunger to study theirs. Work is the best cure for envy. A man cannot pull weeds in another's garden when his hands are full planting in his own. Consider Henry Ford, who held to the purpose of building a car for the common man. Critics mocked him. Rivals built luxury models for greater profit. Advisors urged him to change his market. But Ford persisted, and in time, the world came to his price and his design. He did not measure his progress by theirs. He measured it by his aim. Think of Thomas Edison, who passed through thousands of trials to perfect the electric lamp. Others claimed to be closer to success. Others mocked his method. Others gave up entirely. Edison kept his eyes on the single problem until it yielded. Had he stopped to compare his pace to theirs, he would have wasted the very hours that brought his victory. Abraham Lincoln bore storms of criticism, insult, and doubt. He faced rivals in politics and enemies in war. Yet his attention was not upon silencing every detractor. It was upon preserving the Union. His persistence in that aim, despite every voice to the contrary, made him one of the most enduring leaders in history. To practice these weapons, take one hard decision before noon each day. Do not let it be forced upon you by chance. Choose it with purpose. Then keep one labor in place for 90 days without change. Let the repetition forge persistence in you as heat forges steel. Do this even when tempted to abandon it for something more exciting. Remove one voice of discouragement from your life. It may be a person, a book, a habit of listening to certain talk. If it weakens your decision or shakes your persistence, it must go. The courage to walk alone is the courage to part with what drags you backward. Say aloud this affirmation each morning. I decide now. I never quit. I keep my eyes on my own road. Let it become the shield against the glances that would turn you from your aim. Speak it until your mind answers to it without hesitation, until it is not merely a sentence, but a command you obey by nature. The courage to walk alone is not the pride of thinking you need no one. It is the strength to walk your road even when no one walks beside you. Allies are valuable, but their presence or absence must not decide your pace. Your aim is the contract. You are bound to it whether the road is crowded or empty. Comparison is a thief that dresses as a teacher. It pretends to offer lessons from another's success, but it steals your attention in the process. If you would learn from another man, study his principles, not his pace, his methods, not his milestones. Then return to your own work, richer in wisdom but unchanged in course. The man who is free from comparison is free from the crowd's approval and the crowd's scorn. Both are shackles. The same voices that cheer you today may jeer you tomorrow. To be moved by either is to be a puppet of public mood. Fix your reward in the attainment of your aim, and you will not be swayed. Your road will have seasons of slow progress and seasons of rapid gain. In slow seasons, comparison will tempt you to despair. In rapid seasons, it will tempt you to pride. Both are distractions. Keep your pace steady, your head level, your eyes forward. Measure only by the plan you wrote and the steps you keep. Every man who has done great work has walked for long stretches without applause. This is the test. If you can keep your focus and your labor through the silent miles, you have the courage to win. If you require constant notice, you will stop when the crowd turns its eyes elsewhere. Make it a rule. When tempted to compare, return to your aim. Read it aloud. Name the next act. Perform it at once. This breaks the chain of idle thought and returns you to the work that matters. A mind returned to its purpose is a mind safe from drift. In the end, the race is not against other men. It is against the wasted time you might have spent on them. The man who keeps to his road with decision and persistence will pass every distraction and reach the place he set out to find. The man who wanders to look at others may see much, but he will finish little. The mastermind is one of the greatest powers a man can command, but it must be used as a mirror, not as a stage. A mirror shows you what is true. A stage tempts you to perform. The purpose of a mastermind is not applause or display. It is the blending of minds in harmony to strengthen each member's focus upon his own aim. To build such an alliance, choose from 2 to 5 men whose qualities complement your own. They must be men of integrity, skill, and persistence, not flatterers or idle talkers. One disloyal member can destroy the harmony that gives the mastermind its power. Choose as you would choose partners in a voyage where each man's conduct may save or sink the ship. Each member must have a definite aim, and each must know the aims of the others. In this way, the alliance becomes a set of mirrors, reflecting back to each man the truth of his progress. When you state your next step, your allies hold you to it. When they state theirs, you hold them to it. This is mutual accountability, the steel frame of the mastermind. The pledge of harmony is the foundation. Without harmony, there is no mastermind, only a meeting. Each man must agree to deal justly, to offer counsel without envy, and to receive it without pride. Discord drains the power of the group faster than any outside force. If it enters and cannot be removed, the cause of discord must be dismissed. Hold councils twice each week at fixed times. Begin every council with the reading of each member's definite aim. This brings every mind into alignment before the work begins. Then review the actions taken since the last meeting, the results obtained, and the obstacles met. Assign new actions to be completed before the next council. End in harmony. The exchange of benefits must be definite. Each man must give something the others can use, knowledge, skill, influence, or resources, and each must receive something in return. This is not charity. It is fair commerce of the mind. A man who takes without giving weakens the whole. A man who gives without taking undervalues his own worth. Use the mastermind as a place to test your plans against accurate thinking. Your allies should question your assumptions, point out your errors, and suggest improvements. This is the mirror. It shows you the flaws you cannot see alone. Accept correction as readily as praise, for the one sharpens and the other only pleases. Avoid using the counsel for gossip or complaint. These are poisons to focus. A mastermind is not a place to discuss the faults of absent men or the misfortunes of the world, except as these things directly affect the aims at hand. Every minute spent in idle talk is a minute stolen from constructive thought. Consider Andrew Carnegie, who surrounded himself with men of many talents, engineers, financiers, managers, and drew from each what he needed to build his steel empire. His counsels were not for display. They were for the work of building. Each man knew his role and gave his best, and together they produced results no single man could have matched. Think of George Eastman, who brought together scientists, craftsmen, and business minds to perfect his photographic products. He did not choose them for admiration or ceremony, but for their ability to add to the whole. In harmony, they turned a vision into a global industry. John Wanamaker ruled vast mercantile houses with orderly systems and trusted managers. His meetings were places of decision and planning, not of empty show. This kept his attention and theirs upon the work that mattered, and it built a business that bore his name with honor. To form your own mastermind, write the names of the men you would invite. Beside each name, write the value they would bring and the value you would offer in return. This will ensure the alliance begins on the ground of mutual respect and usefulness. Then write the Pledge of Harmony and have each man sign it. Fix the dates and times of your councils for at least 3 months ahead. A council that meets irregularly will drift into irregular thinking. Discipline in meeting breeds discipline in action. Keep a written record of every decision and task assigned, so that each man leaves with clear marching orders. If a member begins to use the council as a stage for boasting, for winning approval, or for pushing matters unrelated to the aims, address it at once. The mastermind exists to reflect and refine each man's focus, not to distract or impress. Better a smaller group in harmony than a larger one in disorder. Say aloud this affirmation before each council. We combine our minds in harmony. We plan our work and work our plan. Each man strengthens the other's focus. Let these words remind you that the purpose of the group is to sharpen attention, not scatter it. A true mastermind will increase your speed toward your aim, protect you from blind spots, and encourage you when the road is long. But it can do these things only if each member comes to serve as well as to be served, to listen as well as to speak, and to build as well as to receive. In the presence of such allies, you will see yourself more clearly. You will hear in their counsel the echoes of your own thoughts, refined and strengthened. You will find your attention sharpened by the knowledge that others expect you to act as you said you would, and you will offer them the same sharpening in return. This is the mastermind as a mirror, honest, exact, and reflecting only what is there. Use it to keep your gaze upon your aim, to measure your steps, and to see yourself as you truly are in your work. Resist every temptation to turn it into a stage, for the moment you do, you will trade truth for show and progress for performance. You now hold the plan. You have the aim to guide you, the drill to keep your eyes upon it, the guards to protect your mind, the order to govern your days, the courage to walk alone, and the mastermind to reflect your progress. All that remains is the march. For the next 30 days, live as a man under orders, orders you have written for yourself. Each dawn, read your chief aim aloud, speak the lines that bind your attention, and begin the first act that serves your goal. Through the day, measure every choice against that aim. At night, account for the steps you took and name the step you will take tomorrow. Give 1 guarded hour each day to study or work that increases your usefulness. Render more service than you are paid to render and record it in your ledger. Save not less than 1/10 of all you receive and direct it toward tools, books, and ventures that advance your purpose. Meet your allies in harmony and remove 1 unwholesome influence each week. Do not break the chain. 30 days will forge the habit, and the habit will hold you. When the habit holds you, focus will no longer be a struggle. It will be your nature. You will move toward your aim as naturally as the river runs to the sea. But know this, victory is not the end of the road. It is a station. The man who stops at one station will soon see the train leave without him. When you reach your present aim, write another. Keep the drill, keep the guards, keep the order. Each new aim will be easier, for you will be a trained commander of your own mind. The crowd will not understand the change in you. They will ask why you seem less concerned with their talk, why you refuse the diversions that once claimed you. They will not see that you have traded their noise for the music of progress, their drift for your deliberate march. Let them talk. You will have results, and results speak in a voice all men understand. Say this oath each morning and night. I fix my attention upon my chief aim. I render just and abundant service. I save with purpose. I hold to my plan with decision and persistence. I keep harmony. I advance daily. These are the laws of the focused life. Obey them, and you will command your future. I have given you the map. The march is yours to make. Begin today, for tomorrow will bring new demands on your attention, and the man who is not fixed upon his own path will be pulled to walk another's. Guard your mind, master your focus, and walk with the calm of one who knows where he is going and will not be turned aside. When you have walked this path, return to hear more. There are other laws to master, other tools to sharpen, other stations to reach. Each speech I give is another step toward the complete mastery of yourself. Take the next step and the next, until the world knows you by the mark of one who governs his thoughts and therefore governs his fate.